One fragrance brand, one hot, humid week here in hot South Louisiana. I'll be wearing only Parfums Vintage fragrances for 5 days. Stay tuned. What's going on, Frag fam? I'm Joshua, and this is your channel, our channel, the world's channel, if they want it, Sense. All my returning guests and the subscribers who continue to keep this channel on the rise, to you good folks at home, I say thank you so much. And to all you new people who are checking out the channel, maybe for the very first time, or you've checked it out a couple times and you're not too sure if you want to stick around, we like you're the best. In this video, we'll be talking about 5 fragrances that I'll be wearing for 5 days from one house on one hot, humid week in South Louisiana. This is something I want to try out, wearing 5 fragrances from one house for 1 week, only in the weekdays. Kind of just want to get my work days flowing and see how it would be to wear only one brand for 1 week. See how people react, maybe see how different fragrances perform for a whole week, and just kind of get an overall understanding of how people feel about that brand. To kick things off, we'll start with Parfums Vintage and their summer collection. I'm sure you've seen the boxes before, but just for dramatic effect, get them out of here. I'm gonna start off Monday with a favorite of mine. It's probably one of my favorites from the house because it replicates my favorite fragrance from another house. The fragrance we're talking about is Isla Tropical. I don't know if it's Isla Tropical, Isla Tropical, but I'm gonna say Isla Tropical. And if I'm wrong, Damien, don't sue me. Isla Tropical is their take on Creed's Virgin Island water. They also offer an intense version. I like this version better. This one's more focused on the coconut note. The other one's a little more focused on the lime note. A lot of people felt like it's just a little bit too suntanny lotion with this one, and they wanted to go more towards that lime note, a little bit more of that sharp, twangy note. I really like the creaminess of this one. This is the one that I rock. So on Monday, I'll be taking this Beach in a Bottle fragrance to test run it and see how people feel about it. I'm sure people will like it, and I'll let you guys know exactly what I hear. On Tuesday, I'll be taking a ride with Neroli. I'm sure if you haven't guessed, this is their take on Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino. As you can see, all these bottles from the summer line look a lot alike. They've got the light brown wooden cap. It's got the cool logo on the front. It's got the little sticker on the bottom. So these all look quite the same, but I promise you that the juice inside is definitely not the same. This one I'm gonna wear because, let's face it, Tuesday is a day where you're trying to recuperate from the fact that Monday was slamming you because all the crap that didn't get taken care of on the weekend and on Friday falls on Monday. So on Tuesday, you kind of want to feel a little more laid back, a little more relaxed, and what better to do that with the note of Neroli. So on Tuesday, I'll be rocking Neroli. On Wednesday, I'll be rocking Citrus Number 1. There's also an intense version of this, or a privé version of this, whatever you want to call it. This one I like better because I feel like it's more akin to the original. If you haven't already guessed it or you don't know, this fragrance is supposed to be their take on Xerjoff's Neo. Xerjoff Neo is a quintessential niche summer fragrance. It's been known to be one of those summer fragrances, one of those citrusy, light fragrances that actually performs. So I'll let you know if this one holds a candle to the original. So on Wednesday, I'll be wearing Citrus Number 1. On Thursday, I'll be reaching for Brilliant Bergamot. Brilliant Bergamot is Bergamot 22 from Le Labo, just only made by Parfums Vintage. Brilliant Bergamot is very linear. This is bergamot in a bottle. A lot of these fragrances are very linear, but they each tell their own story. I find that's what's really cool about this collection. All these fragrances are slightly similar, but they also have their own vibe. And I'm definitely gonna look forward to wearing this one to kind of get closer to rounding out the week, maybe give me a little more life before I hit Friday. So on Thursday, I'll be wearing Brilliant Bergamot. So rounding out the week is the fragrance that I've had the least bit of experience with, both the original and the interpretation. The fragrance from the House of Parfums Vintage is going to be Summer Bottle. There's also a Summer Bottled Intense, and as you've heard before, I like to stick to the originals for the most part. Unless the fragrance had a lack in performance, I like to stick with the original because I find that it gives me the most recreation or the best recreation of what the original intended to be. This is Parfums Vintage's take on La Humaniste by Frappin. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. If I'm saying it wrong, let me know in the comment section below. This is probably the most unique out of all of these when it comes to summer fragrance. I haven't quite smelled anything like this, and this is probably the first fragrance that I've smelled that smells like La Humaniste, because there's not really anything out on the market that's very similar to it. So in all actuality, even though this is a clone, this is the only thing that's ever come close to something like that. So I'd have to say that I'm gonna be looking forward to rocking this. I have tested a sample a while back from Mark Mobley. He sent it to me, but that was right whenever I first started really getting into niche, and I think I kind of just, disregarded it, which I'm kind of regretting now. But at the end of the day, I think that this one's gonna be something that I'm really gonna enjoy because it's quite unique. I'm starting to grow more and more when it comes to fragrances and learning more about niche fragrances. So I think that this one will be really fun to wear. So on Friday, I'll be wearing Summer Bottled. So like I said before, 5 fragrances, 1 house, 1 week. I'll only be wearing Parfums Vintage for the entire week. Shout out to the good folks at Parfums Vintage for giving me these fragrances for me to experience. I'll be letting you guys know more and more about them, and I'll let you know straight up, honest, if it's worth your time and your money. Until then, guys, let's get the comment section rolling. Have you smelled any of these fragrances? Have you smelled any of the fragrances that these fragrances are supposed to smell like? And what do you think about them? And while you're at it, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Click right on top of that right before you go to the bottom. But if you don't want to, I understand. But if you do, or if you're already subscribed, why don't you go ahead and smash that notification bell if you haven't already. That way when my videos come out, you'll be the first to know. And as always, and most importantly, friends, I'll smell you later. Peace.